had the smudge going.
Awesome. Do you want to start things off today?
Sure. Welcome,
Or should we?
everybody. We're so excited that you could join us for our Food as Medicine, something new that we're doing at FNFAO, and it'll be a weekly series. And we're happy that we received this contribution of this beautiful, beautiful fish that we could share with the community. So I just want to talk a little bit about where the fish has come from. It is our Manitoba fish, and it has been harvested by our Manitoba First Nations fishermen. And with the COVID, they weren't able to sell their catches on the international market as they would pre-COVID. So the fish sat for a little bit in a warehouse while they were trying to figure out what to do with it. So luckily, some of the tribal councils got together and they were able to get some funding to have that fish processed to be distributed to our First Nations communities. So many of our elders, our families would have received fish from all over, in communities all over Manitoba. I know that Saugeen and Peguis and Fisher River and Sandy Bay and up north, they've all received these packages of fish. And for that, we're really grateful that we were able to get some in our office. I want to acknowledge everybody for coming, all the First Nations that you're from, all the communities that you're from, and just really happy that you were able to join us. And I'll turn it over to our chef extraordinaire, David.
Hello. I'm David Monias. I am a family wellness mentor with the First Nations Family Advocate Office. I might work with some folks in the group. I may not. You may work with some of my colleagues. You may just be kind of just here. Today, I guess I would love to do a little bit of a land acknowledgement. I always love to tell folks that we are on Treaty 1 territory, the home of the Anishinaabe, Cree, and Ojibwe, and in the heart of the Métis Nation. Always love just acknowledging it, and that I'm happy that we're here and everything's going. I'm pretty stoked that all of you are here. Today is our first run through of this thing, actually. So if there's any like flubs or anything like that or timing issues, please bear with me. We'll hopefully, as this program kind of goes, it just gets better and better and better. But yeah, I guess we can start off things. If people can, I would love for everybody to start pulling out their fish. And you can switch to the overhead if you like. Awesome. Look, we're like a cooking show. Hopefully you all like that. Oh, I also forgot to mention. So we are kind of defaulting muting everybody. If you have any questions or fun comments, feel free to unmute yourself and ask them. We will be kind of pan frying some things. We have some overhead shots of the oven later too, right? But yeah, we might mute you if there's a lot of background noise. I know everybody's working out in the kitchen, so there's going to be kind of things. But do unmute yourself if we're going too fast or anything like that. And do feel free to go ahead if you feel like you're a pro. So to get started, first off, we have some pickerel. This is nice. It's filleted, right? I have washed my hands, just full disclosure. And you will see me wash my hands quite a bit just because it is really important. When working with raw meat, we are kind of, if I touch like surfaces, it might get you sick later, or even just using a fork that before, like if I try cooking that, it's gonna get me sick and we're gonna get not feeling so well later on. But again, going back straight into it, we do have some skin on the fish. I know it's kind of intimidating to have this, but I can tell you I did not know how to do this before, but I am going to show you how to do it now. I have practiced quite a bit. My reserve did actually get a load of fish as well, and I was able to secure one box. and I was forced to learn how to do this on my own. So hopefully I can show you. And of course, I love to also say, if you have any other comments, if you have any pro tips, because a lot of you may be better at cooking than myself, do feel free to share them. I love to highlight the knowledge of our families and everything like that. Anyways, we do need a knife. I am fortunately going to use one of these smaller ones. It's not a fillet knife, which is kind of sad, but I know not everybody has fillet knives, but I do know everybody has maybe normal knives. If it is serrated, the ones with the teeth, just keep in mind it might be kind of rougher, but hopefully the straight edge is what we need. And yeah, we'll get started. Again, I have some paper towels down just because I am worried about any like fish oil kind of getting on the table, and I do want to kind of keep it surfaced. But yeah, anyways, as we get started, so I'm going to be cutting right here. I'm bringing the fish a little bit closer, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting in a kind of like a diagonal. So instead of going like, wait, I just got to get the thing centered. Instead of going like this, we're going to kind of cut this way, and that's just right on this tail right here, right there, and that's going to be kind of like our handle here. So again, if you have any pro tips, do let me know. Do proceed with caution with using knives, just because it's always scary, even if you're a pro. Anyways, we're going to get straight into it. We're going to cut this part right here. We're not going to cut all of it off. We're going to kind of keep this little flap here. As you can kind of see, I did cut diagonally. If I don't know if everybody can see that or not. And then, and that's going to be our handle. We can stick our thumb there, anywhere else. And we're going to cut again diagonally. We're going to kind of get right up to that skin here. We're going to get nice and comfy. And we're going to just strip it all the way down. We can even just do one full pull. If you have to, do kind of do this motion. And it should come off pretty nicely. I kind of messed up there, but just keep it going. And if you miss some meat, that's okay. We are not a pro. And then I still got some there. I'm going to get a little bit more if I can. Again, that same technique. I'm just kind of getting underneath there. See if I can get a little bit more. Maybe that'll be for some bits. And then we're going to put this off to the side. I do have a trash available to myself. I'm just going to put it over there. And yes. So it should come out pretty nicely with no skin. We might want to remove some of this here. It is up to you. Was that straightforward, or do you want me to try again? How is it going over here? Yeah, keep going. Okay, cool. Awesome. So I do have a spot. Where did I put my spot?
Excuse me.
Yes?
You also have to debone it.
These ones shouldn't have any bones, but I can show you a trick to double check if there is some bones.
The spine bone is still there.
Usually there's kind of a seam that runs around here. And you can kind of run your finger in it, and you can kind of see if there's there usually isn't. This part right here, there isn't. On mine, I do be careful. These should have been processed so that they wouldn't. If there is, you can cut it out. And I think I found a small one here. I'm just going to cut that out. They're quite thin, and I'm just going to put them off to the side. How are people with this? Does anybody have any questions? Was that too forward, or was that too quick? Keep going. Awesome. Again, I'm going to be cutting them up into smaller chunks just because they are.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Are they fresh?
Yeah, they should be fresh. I wouldn't say like yesterday fresh, but they're still fresh. They are frozen.
A couple days.
But they did come from our.
Karen told me in the
Karen,
beginning.
do you want to explain more?
You weren't listening.
I think they are, they have been frozen. I don't know exactly how long they've been frozen. But when food is frozen quickly after it's fresh, it lasts a long time. So, and this fish has been kept frozen in that good way. And you can see David's doing another example. And while he's doing that, I just wanted to let you know that if you plan to prepare food for a feast or for an offering, there's some protocol that we have to follow, in that we don't taste it before it's cooked. And usually women would wear their skirts, and there is other protocol involved for moontime. So if that's something that you're interested in learning about, you can comment in the chat and we can look at that as we go along.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen. I am cutting them into smaller bits. Feel free to cut them any way you want to. I find that specifically these fillets, when you're pan frying them in some oil, they tend to kind of break apart, and we don't want that. So I'm just going to do one more, and then we're going to kind of move on. I think we provided quite a bit of fish for each people, and let me know if you guys are done or if you guys want me to hold up or kind of match your pace. So how are things been for everybody?
I'm still peeling the skin off my second fish.
Awesome. Well, then maybe I'll continue doing a little bit more just so in case you need to see anything. And let me know if there's anything, like if you want me to go extra slow or even redo it or even have a better camera angle. And we'll kind of work something out. So again, I'm just doing this again, just pulling and kind of dragging it through. Awesome. Okay, so again, I do have the ingredients listed up on the thing. If there was any inconsistencies between that and what we received today, let me know. I do know that there was kind of it is our first trial run and there is going to be a lot of hiccups, but yeah, just keep me informed and hopefully I can fix it for next time. I imagine we'll always have our regulars. Yeah. And I'm going to do one last set and then we'll kind of hold up on you and maybe we can kind of switch to Karen for some more chatting. Again, I did that one cut that was kind of diagonal this way. And we're going to go this way. And then once I get that one part right here done, I'm going to slide it right on up against the skin, get nice and cozy. And we're just going to kind of peel and pull. It's a little bit slippery, so make sure you do have a good grip on both. Do be careful. You can even kind of wiggle the skin that you're pulling, and that actually kind of helps a little bit better. Again, if you guys have any pro tips, do let me know. I'd love to hear your knowledge. Oop, that's coming off a little bit there. That's okay. Not everything's perfect. I always like to believe in happy mistakes.
A tip I do have, I saw on Pinterest or something once, for peeling the skin off, I put a cup of water in the microwave for almost 3 minutes, and then so it's like boiling, and then I pour a little bit on the fish skin, so it kind of like peels back a little bit, and then it helps peel it off easier.
Wow. Okay. I got to try that sometime. Unfortunately, my microwave is put away. I would love to try that. And this is the kind of stuff I love to hear. I do have some leftover fish at home. I'm definitely going to try that next time it's my turn to cook. That's really awesome. Thanks, Cillian. How are people on cooking? Do you need a little bit more time or do we need to kind of switch things up?
Excuse me.
Hi.
We need a little more time.
Not
You
really.
need a little bit more time? Okay.
Got one more to flay and cut, and that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Awesome. And then, so with that said, I am gonna also kind of fill up some dead air with some plugs of our programs. So some of the stuff that we do have running on at the First Nations Family Advocate Office is, I think we have a women's wellness group, we have a men's sharing circle, we have, I think, a women's sharing circle, we have also traditional parenting, and then we also have, on Mondays, we have a program called Live Free. It's a program that ran by me, and that program is more kind of focused towards interactions with police or even CFS, and just kind of keeping your cool and making sure things are just going well. If you have any interest, do reach out to our front desk about the programs that we offer, and hopefully they can direct you to someone who can kind of get you in those programs. I think we're also going to have some new programs coming up soon too. One is called Living in Balance, so keep an eye out for that. That is kind of focusing on the not so tough, the kind of easier discussions that we can have about relationships and just ideally what we want to set up for ourselves. I know that might be split up into two different groups, one with our male participants and one with our female. And obviously, if you don't fit into those boxes, please chat with somebody and we can kind of fit you in wherever you want. Awesome. So with that said, hopefully I'm going to move on a little bit. So I'm going to move this over. And then it's not too much grease here, so just be careful with that. I got to ask a question. In our handouts, did we provide eggs or did we not? If not, that is okay. We can switch things up. If you want, I can use a recipe without eggs, or we could use some. I have some eggs right here. I am going to use some just for ours. Yours doesn't need to. We do have flour that we provided. And we do have, I think we provided some original coating, or basically shake and bake, but the no name brand. I love no name brand. I love saving money on my food. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my cup. I am gonna grab my flour, and as you can kind of guess, it's pretty straightforward. We're gonna put it in one of our bowls. Maybe do 1 or 2 cups. I think 2 will be fine. We are not baking today, so which is nice. We are cooking, which is more kind of freestyle. So if it is not enough, let me know and then kind of just stick it in there. I am also going to prepare some coating mix or our kind of breadcrumbs or shake and bake mix. This pack comes with 2, which is pretty nice. And I'm going to pour it into 1 container here. And if you do have eggs, you should only need 2. It is optional to use them today, just because unfortunately we weren't able to provide them. But again, please bear with us as we kind of work out all the little details and kind of stuff like that. So I have mine. We could mix them if you don't have a lot of bowls. It is okay. And then I am also going to prepare my second bowl over here. And actually, I'm going to probably, that should be okay. And I'm going to get my eggs ready. If you don't have eggs, that's okay. These fish, they're kind of a little bit moist. The flour and breadcrumbs should kind of stick to it pretty well. And it is only added there. I know folks who kind of don't use that stuff in their day-to-day recipes, so it is okay. I've seen people substitute for other stuff. I think I've seen people use buttermilk. I think you could even use butter or margarine if you like, and that should help kind of set the breadcrumbs and flour to the fish. All right, Now I'm gonna crack my eggs. I'm gonna bring my garbage can. I have a handy dandy garbage can that is off screen. So we do get some egg whites. We're gonna just crack them. I'm not a best at cracking, so please be careful and make sure we don't get any eggshells. I'm gonna use 2 eggs. Oh, I did get some of that there. I'm gonna use it with, wipe it up a little bit. Please be careful. Again, uncooked eggs can make you sick, so make sure our cooked food does not come in contact. And if you are like me, who got egg yolks on his fingers, don't forget to wash your hands before touching your mouth or anything else. It's just proper food safety. And what I'm gonna do today, you can either use a fork or a whisk from Dollarama, just like mine. And we're just gonna whisk it. Maybe we're just gonna kind of mix it up, kind of get that nice kind of texture, and mix the egg whites and the yolks. Perfect. See that? Put that there. And how are people with their ingredients? Is everybody caught up? Everybody's good? It's so quiet. I miss you guys. Where are you at? Anyways.
I got a thumbs up from Nicholas.
Nicholas is good? Okay. I'm going to trust Nicholas. What I'm going to start doing, actually, it's a great idea. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. It might be a good idea to start getting our oven nice and warm. We can put it down to medium heat, medium to high. Please grab yourself an appropriate size pan. Hopefully it's one with the deep edges, just so you can have the oil that we provided in there. If you don't, it will be fine, kind of just pan fried on like a griddle surface if you have one. You may just need to make sure the edges are kind of cooked properly, just in the case. And make sure we don't keep our empty pan on the oven because we don't want to waste anything. You can switch to the oven cam if you want. And I'm just going to put a little bit of now. I'm going to add a little bit more later. And we're just going to make sure we coat it all the way around. And of course, you don't have to use oil. Oil would be preferable, but yeah. We're just going to make sure we kind of get a nice even coating. Might be a little bit thicker. And we're just going to leave that for now while it's going to cook. But keep an eye on it. We did provide canned veggies to you guys. And we also provided, I think, sidekicks. This is the time to have those prepped as well. If you are cooking our sidekicks, I believe it does use milk. And when it's boiling, you do have to kind of stir it consistently. Or keep a really close eye on it. I've had it a few times where I just kind of look over there to answer a text, and almost always, it always bubbles over, and I kind of ruin my pot a little bit. All right, anyways, getting back to it with our fillets, right? We are gonna dab them in the milk, our yolk here. And what I'm gonna do next, I wanna get these nice and close just so they can kind of be that. Get it nice in there. If you don't have it, that's okay. Maybe wet it a little bit. And we're just gonna dab it here. And again, we're just gonna soak it up again one more time. Make sure nice even coating. And we're gonna dip it in our breadcrumbs. And it's okay. If you actually want, you can mix these two together. Today, I'm just gonna keep them separate. And then I'm gonna bring this over to our oven and I'll see you there. So I do have my piece right here. It did come off on my fingers. That's okay. Happy little accidents, right? Just gonna turn that up a little bit higher. Maybe prep a few more while I wait. Ideally, we kind of want them kind of going a little bit quicker. But I was silly and did not prep my oven soon enough.
While you're doing the crumb coating, just a tip that we got from one of our elders at the ceremony camp was when you fry your fish, if you're going to do 5 pieces in the pan, then do those 5 pieces and don't add any or your fish will get all soggy if you add some halfway through the cooking. So do your 5 and then do your next batch.
Of course. Pro tips from Karen. I love it. Always love when people share knowledge. Then I have a few ready here. I feel like my oven is kind of getting hotter. I'm going to quickly wash my hands just because I do have a lot of batter on my fingers. And I'm going to start that pan or start that set. And once you're kind of done, feel free to add it on there. You may, on yours, you should hear a sizzle. And that's ideal. And we're going to keep it going. And ideally, we are not going to be touching our, I wash my hands even though like I'm going to touch it one more time. I'm pretty silly. We're going to put it right in here. And you may hear a sizzle. On mine, you're not going to just because I didn't have it hot enough. But we're just going to start there. And I'm going to rinse my hands again. So if you want, you can mute me. Unmute if you want. Awesome. Then we're going to keep an eye on these. You don't have to move them. If you really want, you could shake this up a little bit. Ideally, once they're kind of cooking a little bit naturally, they will release. Yeah. It's pretty straightforward, I guess. I'm going to grab a second plate for my utensil here, just so I'm not putting greasy surfaces or dirty surfaces on our oven here. Please be careful when cooking with the oven and always keep an eye on it. Don't forget to check up on your sidekicks as well, just because, you know, those do boil over.
It smells really good.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I do want to note, I am right here. I am not masked. Through movie magic, my cameraman is in the other room. And I do want to say, even though we are in the middle of a pandemic, I am going to be cleaning stuff down. If you had any questions, I'm going to be wiping everything down. I'm going to be putting my mask back on once it's time to leave this room, and we should be safe. Just wanted that disclaimer. Please be safe in the pandemic.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Okay, should my batter be this thick? Should I add more water?
I'm going to come check.
Hold on.
And is that Cassidy Barron's that I'm looking at?
Yeah. See?
Okay. Oh, it's a little thick. If you have any more of that, add more of the dry mix. It's okay if it does get a little bit thicker, but just make sure if you can have it a little bit drier, that'd be okay, but don't worry about it. I'm sure if you mix it on there, it'll fry just nicely anyways.
Like this?
Yeah. Is it sticking on to the...
No.
No, it might be a little bit too wet, eh? Is there any more shake and bake mix there you have there?
Okay, yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah, maybe even do it onto a clean pan. I wouldn't try to avoid having more moisture going in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Or a clean container. So I do have mine kind of sizzling and kind of bubbling now. I'm just gonna kind of gently touch them to kind of see if they're moving. They have released. So I'm gonna try attempting to flip them over. Ooh, look at that. They are kind of getting nice and crispy. If you want to, you can add more oil to this pan so you can kind of get the nice and the sides a little bit more crispy. I think I might follow suit and do that as well. And if you're noticing any pieces coming off, like Sometimes what we have is also kind of like crumbs or any fry bits or even just anything like that. Do clean them out and just throw them in your garbage or anywhere that won't kind of burn. It just keeps the oil a little bit cleaner. And then you won't have such dark pieces. And again, like Karen said, we are going to kind of keep them. I started with 3 batches. We're just going to stick with that for now. And I'm going to let this cook before adding more. Karen, did you have any other teachings to share?
I just want to say that looks great, and we can hear the sizzle in the pan, and look at how wonderful that nourishment that comes from our lands and waters. And the lakes that we have in Manitoba are really beautiful, really special. And when we think of how long our First Nations people have been here, our ancestors would have fished along those shores and would have gathered and harvested the same bounty that we're blessed with today. And our body remembers that, our blood remembers that. And I find that when we have food, when we have meat and fish that's from our territory, from our lands, it's even more healing and more nourishing to our bodies, because it is part of our legacy, part of our life all along from our history. I remember my grandmother making fish for us. My mom taught me how to make fish. And my daughter, my granddaughters, we're learning together how to do all of that. And then all those generations to come, hopefully our land and waters will stay clean and bountiful, so that those yet to come will be able to enjoy these same things that we are today. So I'm super excited for all of you sharing in this wonderful fish. And look at how wonderful it looks.
Nice. All right, I'm going to come back to our oven here. I do have a container because I'm not going to, unfortunately, I'm not eating it immediately. I'd love to, but I'm going to put it off to the side. And hopefully I can get my plate out of here. If you have the tongs, so like the clampy clamp, please use them. Sometimes that is actually a little bit better. I'm going to use a spatula today because I came under equipped apparently. And that looks really good. I'm going to take this off a little bit of the oven because I don't want that to burn while I prepare my next batch of fish. How is Cassidy there with her batter? How's the round 2 going? Just wanted to double check, make sure we're not leaving you behind, because I do worry about that.
It's sticky, and I don't know what I did wrong. Yeah, it's, see.
I'm gonna move off camera just so I can kind of double check. I hope I don't.
Maybe you could
My
just
lovely
use
back.
flour, Cassidy, just dry flour.
Okay.
And you can season it with salt and pepper, the flour. And even if you put like a tablespoon or 2 of the crumb into the dry flour.
So what I can probably do for this next round, just because I want to be solidarity and make sure we're all part, I'm actually going to try a batch with no milk, no eggs. Thank you, Chris. And I'm just going to try to do it like that. So I'm just going to really just get it in there with the dry stuff, right? And this one's just going to be kind of like this alone. I'm going to try one where these are kind of a little bit wetter, which is really nice. We're going to just plop it in there. And I forgot to mention, if you also have salt and pepper, like this one, or my favorite, seasoning salt, or any just regular salt, please season to your flavors or health conditions. You can put that into the the batter here, whether that be like the breadcrumbs or even the flour that we gave out, please do that. I also have garlic powder, which can kind of add a little bit of flavor. Today, I'm just gonna keep things simple though. And I'll do that for my next batch. And I'm gonna do one where I have a little bit of breadcrumbs and a little bit of stuff like that. And I'm gonna add that onto our plate now so we can switch over to this. It does kind of look like we're a little bit low on oil. Oh, I got some on that. That's okay. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more. And then here's our first one with just breadcrumbs alone. I'm gonna put that there. I don't hear the sizzle just because I did take it off there. Here's our one with just flour alone. And here's the one with the combination of both flour and breadcrumbs. I'm gonna wipe my hands off over here, maybe take a quick rinse, just because I'm gonna be touching utensils again. It's always important to wash our hands in between touching raw meat. And you can keep that camera on to our food there, our oven, if you like. And hopefully that helps with Cassidy's situation. I know things were a little bit kind of weird there, but that's all right. And I want to keep it, I want to let everybody know too. We are all different cooking skills. I imagine a lot of you are probably better at cooking than I am. And one thing is too, is always great to know, is that we're all kind of learning at our own paces. For a long time, I didn't cook for myself. I did move out and I did have to learn how to cook for myself. And there was a lot of great people that I knew who was able to kind of show me fantastic recipes. And hopefully I can share some with you. And hopefully some of them will be budget friendly. So even if like, we aren't able to supply it, hopefully you can affordably obtain them yourselves and it won't break the bank. All right, I'm gonna switch back to our oven cam. Sounds like things are nice and sizzly. I'm just gonna touch it a little bit. I'm noticing they are moving, which is nice. And I'm just gonna leave that there. I hope you all notice my chef's hat. I would love to have an apron. It didn't come in through Amazon yet. I don't know where I can buy one locally, to be honest. I hope you all love my silly hat. I actually got it secondhand from my friend. I encourage, if you do have long hair, maybe you want to pull it back, or maybe wear a baseball cap or any kind of hat, just to kind of keep the sweat out of your eyes if you are working over a hot kitchen or anything like that. And also just to kind of keep some hair out of the food. I'm sure it'll be fine if it is, but it's just something to think about and be conscious about. Oh, I'm not a pro at flipping everything here. Oh, that's okay.
I'm watching the chefs in their kitchens. I see Lillian flipping her fish and Jessica. I see Cassidy at the kitchen. Melissa and Zoe at the kitchen. Rachel, Kieran, Keely, and Ikwe, I see you there doing a great job. I'm not sure where Elizabeth and Nicholas went, but I see their fridge. Hi. Great. So awesome. And David?
Yes, I'll come back into frame.
Okay, Tina had just joined us. Tina, are you still here?
Tina, are you still there? I can kind of show you what I've been doing for a lot of the other families here.
Oh no, I guess I don't see her anymore.
No?
Yeah, I'll let you know if she pops back in.
All right. And then if we have her email contact, just shoot her an email saying that we did see her come in and I can redo the fish. I still do have 2 fillets here that are defrosted. So I can redo our demonstration. if people are kind of falling behind, do please invite me to kind of take a step back and repeat things. Karen, if you catch anybody who's coming in late, let me know, and I'll immediately drop what I'm doing and kind of just focus on helping them catch up because they can't cook. And then I would love for them to kind of enjoy this healthy meal or this nice, tasty meal. All right, I'm gonna go back to my oven here, and it is going pretty nicely. Everything's looking nice and crispy. All of them are kind of looking nice, even though I didn't use any eggs with any of these. I am gonna tilt my pan just a little bit to the right, just so I can kind of get some of that oil away from it so it doesn't always cook so harshly. And I'm just gonna throw that to the side, and these look pretty well much cooked. And then I'm gonna take that off there again. I'm gonna put this over there. Place those there. Then should be good. I'm gonna put that back here, and I'm gonna prepare some more fish. And I'm gonna try and this time with some added stuff. I'm gonna actually mix our breadcrumbs and everything in here. And I'm just gonna do a nice little shake up. Everybody else is probably prepared by now, but again, it's just more of a demonstration. Gonna use some nice, a fan favorite, seasoning salt. When I like to use containers like this, I always like to kind of measure it out by putting it in the red container there. I don't want to use too much today. I always like to be mindful of my salt intake, just for good health. But please season to taste. And put some black pepper in my hands, sprinkle it over so it's nice and even. Then I'm gonna just do a little bit more switching up and going to go back into preparing some fish. So I'm gonna do it again, another set without eggs, just because we didn't provide some eggs for y'all today. And I apologize so much for that. Please bear with us. So again, it is kind of moist, which is really nice because it kind of just gets that right in there. And just like really just dig it in there. I'm gonna bring it nice and close. Really dunk it in kind of like a chicken nugget. And I'm gonna do a larger piece here. Just gonna really just cake it on today. Grab one more, cake it on. Hope you all like this. Looks great. And we're gonna bring it back to our oven right here.
Oh, I'm so pissed.
I'm gonna pour it all in. Leave that there. I'm gonna rinse my hands once again. So if you need to meet me, please do. How are things coming along for a lot of people? Getting thumbs up? We are closing in on 6 o'clock, so the workshop should be wrapping up soon. How are people with our canned veggies and maybe possibly sidekicks? Are they coming out okay?
Got thumbs up?
We got some thumbs up. That's awesome. And of course, it's always like nerve-wracking kind of chatting, but please do chat with me. I love chatting with people. I miss talking to our clients, our families. It just means a lot to me. So if you have any nice comments, let me know. I loved all the pro tips that we heard today.
We'd really love to see your photos of your completed meals. So you're welcome to inbox them to our Facebook page or email them to fnfao@manitobachiefs.com or to your advocate or your worker at our office. Please send them, or I believe you can tweet and tag us or Instagram and tag us. And I know nothing about that.
Oh, I'd love to have a hashtag for us. And then I just heard a suggestion. Hashtag food is medicine. As medicine. AS. Our social medias are actually on the table right now on our screen. It is, our Twitter is FNFAOMB, and our Facebook is First Nations Family Advocate. Kind of one big word, maybe not one big word. If you look it up, you'll find us. And our Instagram is FNFAO. I'm gonna switch back to my oven here. And these are coming out pretty nice. And if they're not super battery, kind of like KFC, that's okay. The nice thing is that they're cooking. They're staying nice and yummy. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more oil just because mine is kind of drying out a little bit more. If you want to have it a little bit deeper than mine, that is okay. I know people are kind of cooking for a little bit more, and that's very much okay. I do have some questions for the families that we have here today. What are some, I'm gonna ask, and hopefully each people can kind of shoot out an answer for me. One thing I do want to ask is, what kind of recipes do you guys want to run into? I understand we are also kind of doing closer to the traditional side. It could also be kind of like modern culture, kind of like Bannock Pops or Bannock tacos. It could, I know we also kind of have the idea of hopefully doing some budget friendly options. I do have some nice burrito and taco options for later. Does anybody have any suggestions for things that they want to try? I've heard stew. I've heard anything like that. If we can secure wild meat, that would be awesome. I would love to try that with you. But again, if you have any answers, shoot them out now. I would love to hear some ideas. Anybody? I'm so
What about a stir fry?
Pardon?
What about a stir fry?
A stir fry? That is my go-to meal at home. I can definitely do that. I can do either like almost a beef fried rice, chicken fried rice, or anything like that. I can also do noodles if you want. And obviously stuff that we can find. We can use like fancy noodles that we might find at like the cultural aisles at like Superstore. I also could try even like some simpler, more budget friendly options as well. Kind of like Mr. Noodles. So I can definitely show you guys how to do that. That is something really good. I'm also gonna switch back to the oven there just to kind of keep an eye. But please, please, please shoot out any suggestions you have for future recipes. Ooh, my oil is kind of burning a little bit. That's okay though.
Maybe we could try like a lasagna. I've never done lasagna before, and it just seems complicated to me.
Lasagna? We could do a lazy lasagna. I think
Yeah, do
bigger one
lasagna.
might be a little bit more complicated, but we can definitely do lasagna. I would love to try that. Does anybody else have any ideas? Should I start like looking at the cameras and start calling out people? I'm just kidding. Does Nicholas have any ideas? I know he loves to chat.
Is it only supper things you're talking about?
If we want to do breakfast, we can totally do that.
How about homemade waffles? Is that an
Homemade
option?
waffles, I'd love to. Heck yeah. I would love to do that. We can do that.
We have an answer also from Melissa and Zoe to do Bannock Pops.
Ooh, Bannock Pops. Heck yeah. And then we can kind of do a mini session with Bannock as well. I do know how to make bannock really well. I like to pride myself, but I do believe some people in the chat will probably be a little bit better than myself, and that's okay. My favorite thing about learning and cooking with folks is that sometimes people kind of roast me, sometimes tease me. They'll be like, oh, this guy doesn't know how to cook. And then they show me up and they show me all this awesome knowledge, and they kind of make me better because of that. At my previous job, I used to actually do bannock and tea. And at the time, I did not know how to make bannock at all. And we were asking our boss, like, who's going to make the bannock for the program? And they're like, you. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how to make bannock. But all the elders within our community that I used to work and serve whipped me into shape real fast. I had 1,000,001 comments. I had 1,000,001 critiques. Within a couple of months, I was a pro. And I'm sure you could be as well. Jessica, can I see yours again? I did miss it.
There it is.
Woo! Lovely. That's so awesome.
My partner already stole a piece.
Oh, yeah?
Looks great.
I'm going to show you mine. I have mine in a to-go container, and these are all different kinds. Here's a kind that we done mixed, some with eggs, some without, some with the breadcrumbs together. If you're following along, I hope you all are.
That's good. My pieces are falling apart. I was a little worried, but it's
Yeah, that's why I kind of like been cutting them smaller, just because it was a little bit of that. I did find using like kind of that spatula really helped keep them together. They were falling apart on me in a lot of my test runs. And it kind of just looks a little bit yummier. Well, you can kind of like, you can't see me, or maybe we'll switch to the other camera. You can kind of like munch out on it a little bit, which is nice. I'm a finger foods kind of person. I love it. As you can see, just kidding. I'm gonna just switch over here. I'm just gonna turn off my oven, and hopefully everybody else has their fish all nice. And if not, I can go over any steps again, because I do want that to cool off and I can clean up. But does anybody else have any pictures of their food going, or how is it going? And do remind a reminder that if it didn't turn out as possible or perfect as possible, that is okay. As long as it's edible and it's cooked all the way through, it all goes in the same space in our tummies, gives us that nourishment and everything like that. Ooh, I love to see all the people's food. It's so great. Oh, who's that at the bottom?
here's
there?
mine.
Ooh, nice.
Looks
So good.
great.
It's
And we
awesome.
saw Lillian's. That was Allie's.
That's awesome. So cool. That
Oh,
looks
there's
lovely. It's like a nice
Nikki's.
golden brown.
Look at the love in the pan there.
Let's see that one.
Wow. Oh,
Mm.
Melissa and Zoe, beautiful.
That's so awesome. I'm so happy.
I can see the steam.
And I gotta ask people, once it's safe to do so, would people be interested in possibly doing this in person if we could ever rent out community kitchens? I know it's like, it's only session 1 out of 7 or 9, but I mean, I do want to like prepare for the future and dream big, right? Would people be interested? Yeah, thumbs up. I see a few of them. Ooh. Huh? Go back. Rachel. Yes, let me see, Rachel. I missed it. Ooh, I love that plating. Hey, also, if you could take some pictures. I know we said it before. Grab your phone, grab an Instagram filter or whatever. Just take nice pictures. Do it. Pretend you're going to be a food blogger and just take a picture of it. Tag us, everything like that. Email it to your worker, send it, text them, anything like that. I just want to see them after. And I would love to kind of include it in a nice collage. And like, even if you don't feel like it's Instagram worthy, I do, because I love to see the cooking that our families make. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap things up because we are kind of running short on time. It is about 6 o'clock on the dot. So Karen, did you have any final words before we end things today?
I just want to say thanks again to everybody for joining us for Food as Medicine. And you know, when we learn and cook together and have this community time, it nourishes us on all levels. And we have the food for the physical, we have the laughter for our emotional, we're learning new skills mentally, and it strengthens our spirit. You know, COVID is hard, but we're getting through it all together. And thanks, David. Thanks, Chris. Thanks to the team that put all the packages together. I'm really happy and super proud to be part of what we're doing today. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that your family enjoys that beautiful meal that you've prepared with love, that comes from love from our office.
Thanks for the fish.
Of course. I'm sorry.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, I love to see all the food. I'm so happy to see some smiley faces today. I'm glad to see a lot of you. I will see you guys next week. Feel free to message your worker. Tell them that you want to do next week. I know that we do have some people waitlisted on the next session. So spots fill up pretty quickly. So call your worker, get in touch, and make sure you're there. Awesome. Oh, and one more time. I know we did invite some more people. Not everybody made it out, and that is okay. Please do not feel guilty about that. That food is still going to you. I still want it to be there and everything like that. So if something does happen, don't feel bad. That is meant for you. But I would love to see you in our program and just chatting, or even just a black screen with a name. All right. And with that said, I think we can end it for tonight. I'm so happy that you guys all came here. Special thanks to Chris with our cameras. Ooh, that looks so yummy. I love to see all your food. Don't forget to tag me or tag our office, send them into your worker, everything like that. And with that, I wish you all a good night. Stay safe, stay masked. And yeah, bye.